It is so important for Black women to not settle.
Don't settle. You don't have to. If someone don't get you, to hell with them. And I mean that.
You think that you're perfect when the market is telling you, hey, something is up. Something needs to change. What are you going to do about it? And our women's answer is nothing. And that's insane to me.
So I'm not with nobody, because I don't want to hurt nobody. Did it over text, didn't call me. Still got love for your mommy. I know you want to be somebody, even if you got to leave somebody.
It is so important for Black women to not settle.
Because we have it the hardest out of everybody. We have double minority status and usually do twice the work, half the pay, half the respect. So damn it.
So Claudia Jordan is basically saying that Black women do twice the work, half the pay, half the respect, so on and so on. We've heard these terms before. I don't know why Black women like to victimize themselves in these types of situations. I don't understand it. It's this victim culture that some of our women just lean into to make it seem like they have it so bad. But then when you talk to them, they swear that they're getting money. It's a huge contradiction.
What do you think the challenge is that women are having, Black women in particular, when it comes to becoming a wife?
Keeping it 100,
yes.
There's not enough eligible Black males who fit the needs of Black women. By the time you dissect the demographics of finances, sexual orientation, what you end up drilling down into, because Black women tend to want to marry Black men.
Right.
So Black women are excelling. They're getting accelerated degrees, graduate degrees, doctorate degrees. They're starting businesses. Black women are running circles around men. Women want to marry on their same level of financial and educational status.
Yeah.
So if you're a Black woman making $150,000 a year with a master's degree, you tend to want to marry a Black man on that same level or higher. If Black women are excelling at such an accelerated rate, how do men keep up with that?
So many Black men in the comment section saying, oh, you have all these high demands, but what do you bring to the table? Good question. Studies have shown that Black women are the highest paid and the most educated. I myself graduated with my associate's degree at 18 and graduated from college with my bachelor's at 20 with a degree in communication sciences with an emphasis in speech and language pathology. I live on my own, have my own car, make about $70,000 a year, and don't have any kids. So I'll never ask for what I can't offer. And as far as what I'm bringing to the table, I bring me, and you can't sit with us.
We're doing so much better than Black men, but then you say that, well, we're not doing that good because we're Black women. Let's continue. Phew.
We deserve to not have to settle. And I know it seems like it's like easier sometimes, like, well, you know, statistics always tell us only 35% of women, Black women will get married.
I had to put that in there. She said 35%. It's currently only 27% Black women married. 1 in 4 Black women will ever marry. And it's just funny throughout this whole video, what you guys will notice is that nobody mentioned anything about, well, if the market is deciding and the market is deciding not to move forward with Black women in regards to marriage, what do Black women need to do to change their ethnic image to be more attractive to not just Black men, to all men? None of these women said anything about improving attitudes, losing weight. None of this stuff was ever mentioned. And I'm like, how can we move on with the Black community if there's no accountability on the end of women? It makes no sense. I couldn't imagine walking through life thinking that I'm perfect, but nobody is accepting my perfect ass. All these people are stupid. They just don't see me as a good catch. I'm a good catch. And you're continuously saying this, but nobody is choosing. Nobody's choosing you. So wouldn't the obvious answer be to look within and see what I need to change in order to be better for the market so I do get picked? But no, it seems like it's the opposite with our women. Instead of looking internally and seeing what's wrong with them, they look at the market and say everybody else is dumb because we're perfect. You guys need to change. But the only people that are sitting back saying that it's our fault are Black women. And they never look within. And these are older women. And these are the women that are influencing younger women. This is insane. You guys are going to be shocked at all the stuff that they say. All 4 of them.
mostly going to be single. And after a certain age, it's a wrap. So we kind of sit there and say, well, I'll share, or I'll compromise on this, or maybe he's not all I want, but he's better than nothing, or a piece of a man is better than no man. Hell to the no. Absolutely the F not. And sometimes it's hard when someone's like pretty good, but there's some things that really don't sit well with your spirit. And we try to sometimes force a square peg into a round hole, and you find yourself frustrated because you're like, oh, because you're settling. And when you feel that feeling where it's like, damn it, something is still not sitting right, you have to walk away, as hard as it is, and have faith that when you do that, the thing that you like, we're not going to settle for, will come into your life. And it usually does when you're not expecting it.
Now, Ms. Vivica.
So real quick, I would love to know what's the age cutoff for that type of thinking, that way of thinking. If you're telling older Black women, which I'm pretty sure their audience is majority older Black women, when do you tell Black women, hey, you getting up in age now, it may be some things that you want to change? Because me telling you not to settle, you've been not settling at 50 years old, 60 years old. And my thing is this: if you're okay with not finding a man, going through life, just being the rich auntie, I've talked about this multiple times.
I'm literally just living my rich auntie life. Number one, I don't have children because I don't want them. This is my dog, Sage. She lives her best life. I'm not married because I don't want to be married to nobody's dusty ass son, okay? I date for pleasure. I don't date for marriage. A lot of money, I spend it on me. I do whatever I want when I want. Marriage is not for me, and children are not for me. I am for me. That's what a rich auntie is.
Then have at it. But what I don't like is when we have women like this on platforms talking about how bad men are, in particular Black men. So they haven't come to grips with their reality. They're still blaming other people. How can you blame other people? And I love this point that Jay Fleming said on a show that we did a while back.
Let me talk to ladies. Dating's extremely competitive. Whether you like it or not, you're going to have to compete. You're not going to be able to affirmative action your way into the dating market. I'm sorry. That's not going to happen. You have to perform.
He said, you cannot affirmative action your way into the dating market or on the dating market. You cannot force white men. You cannot force Black men. You cannot force Hispanic or Asian men to date and marry you. It has to come from the market to decide that you guys are worthy of getting married at a higher rate than 1 out of 4. And if you don't change, if you don't look within, then it's never going to happen because you think that you're perfect when the market is telling you, hey, something is up. Something needs to change. What are you going to do about it? And our women's answer is nothing. And that's insane to me.
What are your thoughts on Sally?
I concur with Claudia 100%. As a matter of fact, my girlfriend who just spoke, I told her that we had a nice little talk. And you and I.
Yeah.
That I told you, you never keep smiling until God sends you your king. Don't settle. And I feel that way to tell that to other ladies because, you know, we go through stuff we ain't got no reason going through. Because we like, but I'm this, but I'm that. And doesn't he see how much I care? And blah, blah, blah. Let me tell you something. When you learn as a woman that as much as you give, you deserve to get back, if not more.
Why is that? Why? I just don't understand the thinking. If you give, you're supposed to get back more just because you're a Black woman. Nobody is deserving of anything. Nobody is deserving of romantic love. Nobody. And I think that our women have this mentality that, yeah, you know, I deserve this. I deserve this type of man. No, you don't. You have the same opportunities as every woman that's willing to compete. And our women hate that term.
Do women feel like they should compete for a man?
No. Why would I compete when I'm the prize? What do you mean by competition? Like, what do you mean?
Competing.
I mean, sorry, competing.
Showing a man why he should
choose you.
Yeah, why he should choose you over other women.
I'm not here to audition for you.
Actually, are.
Okay, I get that standpoint, but I'm not. It's not like a job interview.
They hate the fact that the type of men that you want, you're going to have to compete for him. So let's continue.
Today, it's incredible to me that a friend of mine on her page, I was just scrolling through some of her posts, and that speech by, what was Trevor Noah, the comedian before he retired?
Yeah.
And he says, if you want to learn something, everything I learned it from a Black woman. If you want to find out about who's going to be the strongest, if stuff gets crazy and when it gets crazy, it's going to be a Black woman. And that speech that he gave when he was retiring from his show brought tears to my eyes because.
So, as you guys seen the pictures, Trevor Noah doesn't date Black women. So, if you say that everything you learned is from a Black woman, your mom taught you so much, Black women taught you so much, wouldn't the honorable thing to do be actually to date Black women?
Special shout out to Black women. I've often been credited with, having these grand ideas of people like, oh, Trevor, you're so smart and you're so, and then I'm like, who do you think teaches me? Who do you think has shaped me, nourished me, informed me? From my mom, my gran, my aunts, all these Black women in my life, but then in America as well. I always tell people, if you truly want to learn about America, talk to Black women. Yeah, because unlike everybody else, Black women cannot afford to f around and find out.
It's a strong contradiction when these guys say these things. They'll sit there and champion Black women. Black women will eat it up. But then if you look at their history, they don't even date Black women. I wish they would ask him why. He grew up in Africa, South Africa, mind you. But if he's saying all these things about Black women, why not date the women that you champion so much? What are they not bringing to the table for you to actually settle down with them? That's not knocking the guy. I don't have any issue with interracial dating. But if you're going to say something like that, you got to be able to provide proof as to how you're going to honor Black women for talking about them like that. And from what we see in his dating life, he doesn't date Black women. So, I mean, Vivica, I don't know if she did her research, but it is what it is. Well, let's continue.
We forget how special we are. We forget our power and how much we hold things together for our families and finally for each other. Don't settle. You don't have to. If someone don't get you, to hell with them. And I mean that.
I don't think anybody should settle because it's going to do one or two things. It's going to hinder you or make you feel like you are stuck in a place in which you're going to get, you're going to harden and be bitter. And you're not going to feel good or loved. It's just a little while that you'll try to make sense of what decision you made before you realize, hey, I'm just really not happy. What is good for me is keeping the foundation of any relationship, and that's the friendship. That is what makes you like each other and respect each other. I'd rather curve the relationship towards that as I see it's going sour, so I can then say, hey, it's cool. You can't be this, but we can remain this. It's all good. You'll still have each other and each other's lives at some point, but not just at that point and that level. And you got to respect it. I just need to be happy all the way around. And I'm a tough cookie. I can, take it, you know what I mean? And say, oh, well, I can just let this fizzle on out because I've been gone a long time ago.
Let me know if y'all understand anything that this woman is saying. I don't understand her point. She's just rambling at this point, right? I don't understand anything. So I'm gonna let her cook, but I don't understand what she's trying to tell or the message that she's trying to convey to Black women. But let's continue.
So when he get the clue, then he'll come around, I can do that very well. But if it doesn't serve me, then I know eventually I'm not going to serve it or serve him well either. So you might as well cut it off right in the beginning.
I know that's right. And I agree with everybody. And I just want to throw on there, if you're not settling, what's the alternative?
That's a good point, Selena Johnson. If you're not settling, what is the alternative? Be single and alone. That's the alternative. That's settling as well. She said, what's the alternative? Yeah, let's talk about that. Let's expound on that. What's the next thing? If you're continuously not settling, then what's next? Are you okay with that fate? Being alone? You're going to have to change some things. And if your answer is, well, no, I'm perfect. I mean, why should we care? The information is out there. Like I said, we have the information readily available, even men. That's why this whole space was created, so we can minimize the mistakes that we made before we had all this information at our fingertips. We didn't have this information. Now we do. And it seems like Black men are listening, but Black women are just in a constant hamster wheel telling them exactly what they want to hear, and there's no improvement. And I'm talking about on a general sense. Yes, there are some very successful Black women out there. We already know that. And I'm getting tired of saying this. Not all, not all. On my platform, I'm going to stop that. Because if you're a smart person, if you have any intelligence about yourself, you understand that I'm not talking about every woman. So yes, there are some very successful Black women out there. But the majority is just not doing what needs to be done to get married. That's the ultimate goal. We're talking about relationships, right? Okay, cool. You think you get money? All right. But the numbers say otherwise. We won't go into that. We already know how the statistics read. But it just makes no sense where we just have our women going in this constant hamster wheel and we're trying to help you if you just sit down and listen.
What are you thinking? Are you thinking that by settling, someone else is going to come to your rescue and fix and paste everything that you need tailored to you? That's not going to happen. So it's important for us not to settle. To settle is lazy at this point. It's important for us not to settle so that we can continue to break down these barriers, because those barriers are in fact and indeed there. What were you going to say, Lisa Ray?
I was going to say,
what are the barriers? What barriers? I don't understand. She's not giving her listeners context. What barriers do you need to break down? And I'm pretty sure she's talking about dating and marriage, right? Because in the, if we're adding context, settling is pretty much talking about relationships and marriage, right? Don't settle in a relationship. So what barriers is she telling Black women to break down? Is she talking about, do we need to change? It doesn't seem like that, because she's saying it's important not to settle. But why is it important not to settle? Because everybody else is wrong? Everybody else is getting married at a higher rate? Are y'all just perfect and we're just not seeing the light? And this is not to get down on our women. I'm just trying to help understand the concept of not settling. What are you not settling for? At this point, if we know the statistics show that Black women are the least married, then everybody else would be, we would consider that settling. Because if there's other women that are getting chosen at a higher rate, then that wouldn't be considered settling because they're not at the lowest rung. It just makes sense. I don't understand it. But let's continue.
We need opposite. We need someone to challenge us, to allow us to rise to the occasion so we can be applauded. That's what we need, the support of that.
It seems like women are always the ones that always
Here
settle,
we go.
right? Men, you see the most dusty, raggedy somebody's son that is a straight up week 5, right? Hair.
So first of all, who is she describing? These are men that she has intimate knowledge with, but she's gonna try and clean it up. But what type of man is she describing? If that's the men that are approaching you, then that is your level, ma'am. When women describe these ain't crap dudes, where did you get that working knowledge of these guys?
Line all the way back here, unemployed, bad attitude, bad body, black toenails, attitude.
Oh my God, girl. What girl?
Damn,
Better days, I mean, I ain't talking about no one specific. Better days are behind them. And they be trying to holler at me, right?
Now watch this. You hear what she said? She was right the first time. And they be trying to holler at me, right? Watch how she try and clean it up.
Talk about my friends, right?
She said that the guys are trying to holler at her friends, not her. That's messed up. If I was her friend, I'd be like, damn, like how you gonna put us out there and put the guys that are approaching you onto us? You was right the first time. You said they're approaching you, right? This is hilarious.
got a friend for me and she better be a dime. She better be able to cook and this and this and that. And the list is so long. And then I meet my amazing friends that check all the boxes, say, I want a good guy that treats me nice. And I'm like, I wish women had the audacity and the confidence of some of these fives that be stepping to me and the demands that they have. And I'm women, I just feel like and I think it's because we're programmed, because we constantly hear, oh, the statistics and the ratio, you better just, just settle for this, or a man's going to be a man. Hell no. What if we said that?
She's acting like women don't. She said, I wish women had the audacity of men. She don't know anything about these spaces.
Here are some things I expect a man to pay for while I'm dating him or we're in a relationship. All dates. You should be paying for the date. I don't pay for dates, so what are we doing here? So you got to be able to afford my nails to be done once every 2 weeks. Hair is expensive, so I'm going to need you to front the bill on that. You need to help me out. You must get my Uber. That is just the standard. I don't like looking like a bush monkey, so waxing is a given. I feel like nobody wants to see that. So, yeah, you got my wax, right? You got my wax. But eventually, you're going to have to pay my rent. Like, girls got bills to pay, and I am too feminine to, pay for myself. So, I mean, I do that now, but, if I'm with you, why would I pay for my own bills? Oh, no.
Talking about audacity, the audacity is y'all telling women not to settle when these women want to get married, but you're not telling them to change. And she's saying that men have the audacity to have unrealistic expectations. Are you serious? Where have you been, ma'am? Oh my goodness. So that was Fox Soul, I guess, giving their listeners a pep talk in regards to not settling. And that's one of the issues in the Black community why I said, I don't think we should care anymore, because people are choosing what the hell they want to do. And nothing that we say or any other women who make content trying to explain to other women hey, let's do this the right way. This is how we can change. If they hear it and they digest it, but they don't put the plan into action, there's nothing you can do. And that's why I always tell people I go by the rule of 10. 3 people are going to be for, 3 people are going to be against, 4 people are going to be undecided. The 3 people that are against, can't do anything with them. Just discard them. You guys see me do that all the time on my platform when I block folks up out of here. Can't do anything with them.
Cannot play with them. Cannot win with them. Cannot coach with them. Can't do it.
The 3 people who are for and want to do the work, that's who I want to talk to. And also the 4 people who are undecided. I want to make sure that I get to them before these women get to them. Are these men who don't understand how relationships work and what makes us happy and what we need to do to cultivate better families. I want to talk to the 7 people that are for and the ones that are undecided. I don't care what the hell the 3 are doing. Don't care. Everybody can't be saved. Everybody ain't going to get married. It is what it is. But just be happy with the decisions that you make and stay off the effing internet trying to muddy up the conversation with your foolery, with your hateful messages, your hateful tone like these women. It's crazy. Go ahead and make sure you click that link, get you some Teej Hanley, and support the Medium Man YouTube channel, and also support Teej Hanley.